Hello everyone, it is so good to see you. Recently, Nintendo announced a new Fire Emblem mobile title and released it on the same day. Okay. Steel yourselves for tactics and treachery in Fire Emblem Shadows for smart devices. Real-time strategy meets social deduction as you figure out the traitor in battles waged between light and shadow. This is the basic gist that you get when you check the game out on the official websites, along with the tagline, "Trust no one." That one's pretty fitting. I was in the middle of a charity stream on a Wednesday, minding my own business, trying to do my thing, and then suddenly I'm downloading Fire Emblem's second mobile game. But what do you mean by strategy and social deduction? When I had the chance, I dove in headfirst to see what I could make of this. The first initial impression, this is a Fire Emblem game in the fact that there is a grid-based map, weapon triangle advantages and disadvantages, and that's pretty much where it stops being Fire Emblem. Everyone moves on their own in an auto-chess fashion. You don't get any agency of where your units actually move, partially because you essentially only control one of these 3 units per map. The UI dedicates itself entirely to this one unit. You're able to initiate skills and spells freely, albeit with a cooldown. But unlike other Fire Emblem games, you can hurt your own allies with set spells if they're in range. Now you might be wondering, why would you do such a thing, you monster? That's because you might actually be a monster in disguise. Every battle has 3 on your side as you take on your opponents, but forget the other team. They're just fodder for you to have some time to determine who on your team is a liar. You see spells go off, hitting friends and enemies alike, and then you have to use your wits and observational skills to deduce who is the traitorous cur trying to slyly sabotage the heroes. Or like, I don't know, that's probably how Nintendo wants you to see it as? It's very basic. Whether you're doing story mode or multiplayer with other people made of flesh, I think you'll find yourself being underwhelmed with the level of deducing you need to actually do. From my understanding, if you see an ally get hit with magic, then it's probably most likely the other person who's the bad guy. The game also tries to push you towards the right direction, in case you weren't paying any attention. And if you still can't tell even then, it is literally a 50-50 chance of getting it right. If you guess correctly, you'll get a slight boost, as in you'll have an extra life in the following battle against the traitor. The game doesn't really make it feel like choosing the imposter really matters enough. The advantage does help, and sure, maximizing your skills with their cooldowns by attacking and healing is part of the strategy involved, but there's just not really much else going on. Rather than being about finding the imposter, or hiding that you yourself are one, this feels more like a game of who makes the most mistakes. And yet, you can all just literally choose the same person and have just as much luck as if you didn't. And beyond that, just waiting for turns and actions to happen. Oh god, it feels like I'm waiting for the night class from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn to do literally anything. This game should have launched with a ×2 speed option at the least. There are some tactics to be had when equipping your skills, like some that move or swap spaces with your units to help give you a better advantage. All attacking and healing skills have a specific radius, and units can move in or out of that space as the battle progresses. You'll just wonder why you won't be able to move these units yourself. So the game barely legitimizes the use of Fire Emblem's tactical grid-based system, because you aren't really utilizing positioning. And that's a shame because unit positioning is one of the main factors of the turn-based gameplay the series is known for. There's also another big factor that most people will wonder when they check this game out, summarized here by my friend who helps run EmblemCon with us. If you asked me to explain why, I couldn't. Before even getting to the main cast, everyone in this game has, in some way, animal features. The main character, your allies, NPCs, there's also familiar faces here too. Dimitri is taking on being a lion, which makes sense, but I was kinda hoping he would be a boar. I'm sure Felix's everywhere would have loved that too. And Lynn, she's, If I had a nickel for every time I started a mobile game with horse girls in 2025, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened at all. Did intelligence systems just see the numbers that Uma Musume was doing and say, wait, hold up, listen, we have Lynn, but what if we also had Goldship? It's so funny because whenever they turn into their beast form, the art goes pretty hard no matter who it is, but then you got this derpy little chibi in the corner. I know they probably want us to take this seriously, but it's hard when they tried something along the lines of Dragalia Lost. This is just a side-by-side of me with the guy she told me not to worry about. That said, I don't hate the art or designs or anything. They look very nice and clean, and offer Fire Emblem Shadows a unique visual style. I think the look of our main character, Kurt, is pretty good. Kurt is the prince whose dad is dead. Oh yeah, okay, sure, water is wet, Fire Emblem dad is dead, and people die when they are killed. Kurt's interesting enough, I think. They're an upstanding young man who wants to rebuild the kingdom, bring peace, yada yada. Listen, I know what you are. And that's not because the monster form of Kurt has features. We need to look and observe for science, okay? Though that does make this hilariously more obvious in hindsight. The game doesn't really hide Kurt disguising as a dude very hard, but man, did they have to make it so awkward? There are better ways to reveal the gender of a character than having them bathe in front of someone else. The only reason Kurt has to pose as a man is the family needed an heir, because I guess women in Fire Emblem aren't allowed to rule, even though we've had literal queens in the same franchise already. If nothing else, the most interesting bit this game has established is that Kurt is engaged to this girl named Rose. You know, as royal families tend to. And according to the in-game conversations, Rose is apparently aware that Kurt's a lady. She also happens to be genuinely very fond of her. So surely we can commit to and see this all the way through, right? Fire Emblem wouldn't find a way to ruin this for us with a surprise plot twist or anything, right? I'd like to see that plot develop because I'm not super invested in the story, like at all. Most mobile games aren't exactly known for their riveting plots, it's more of a way just to establish the premise of the game. The Goddess of Light tells me, the person who downloaded Fire Emblem Shadows, to go and learn about people and experience the journeys of characters like Kurt. So the game tells me to play the game. Cool. Kurt's story plays somewhat adjacent to Marth, getting run out of their kingdom, meeting with a princess, down to the red and green characters that represent the bull and the panther. It's a cute little nod to Cain and Abel, that much is appreciated. Kurt nearly gets taken away, but because of the protagonist, they can convince anyone to join their side instead, as they conveniently help them to remember what's really important: family. It's a shame to immediately dismiss this because there's potential for fun characters, as is with any Fire Emblem game. This scene at the bazaar looks like the most fun the animators have had in a long time. I can't remember the last time that I saw an animated scene like this for Fire Emblem where it wasn't an action sequence, a cinematic sweep, or someone dying. Just characters goofing around, being charismatic and expressive with one another. Well, I guess that's if you don't count some of the weird stuff that Fire Emblem Heroes does for April Fools. As you use each character, you can build rapport and get to know them better. You can do solo battles for rewards and get a good first impression of them with a greeting.
I am Hati, and I do not think we will get along.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too. What kind of bothers me is, instead of just completing a story bit and then progressing to the next one, you have to participate in the main mode with people online in order to earn pages that will unlock the next chapter. I know the whole point is to promote you to play the game, but some people might just want to check out the story with the occasional AI-controlled battles instead. That's one of the risks you take in making a game solely focus on the multiplayer interaction. If you don't hook the initial audience with the concept, you'll have a harder time keeping people, or ideally attracting more players in the long run. And because of this setup, it can take a long time to unlock the rest of the chapters for this story. That said, still, it's not a story that's doing anything special otherwise. It seems the general initial reaction to this game has been, I wonder what my favorite Fire Emblem character's persona is, and man, this game sucks. I feel like they took a new IP, was worried that the concept wouldn't do too well, and said, hey, Fire Emblem is already hitting it big on mobile markets, let's slap this on there. As of right now, the 2 legacy Fire Emblem characters can be summoned to this world, but they retain nothing but their name, which is just really lazy writing. Like, I think Dimitri has his anger issues and wants to kill for revenge, but Pete doesn't remember why, thus has no reason to now. But he'll still do it! I think the writers took some basic excerpts from 3 Houses and made that the whole foundation. Apparently, Intelligent Systems is treating this like a mainline title, so like, who knows what else is going to happen with this series going forward. It's only a matter of time before we start getting half-beast legacy characters added to Fire Emblem Heroes. Might still be a while before we see anything like that happen, so there's plenty of time for you to figure out what animal your favorite character will turn into. Huh? I'm sorry, what was that? Wait, show me. wait, they already added Lyn to Heroes? What do you mean? We actually have a dozen Lyns in this game already. It's been like half a week and Uma Lyn is already going to be a mythic hero? In fact, she's already in this game as of this video. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called cross-promotion and pandering, just not the most subtle kind. It's like a poorly placed ad on a YouTube video that interrupts someone while they're talking mid-sentence, and then it comes back to them and you have no idea what that person was talking about. That right there, that's my horse Lyn. Thanks, I hate it. This is very possibly a marketing scheme to get you to actually spend more money on Fire Emblem Heroes than Shadows. Because with the new game, they can now release any character that they want and also promote them in Heroes with new skills to inherit and such. I don't know how much longer Heroes has left when every cool overpowered new unit is power crept a few months later, but at least it'll potentially go down knowing that it truly became Furry Emblem. But I guess at the very least, I will say there's a remix of the Fire Emblem Blazing Blade battle theme when you're betrayed by Lyn, and that sounds legitimately cool. Dimitri's song is the main theme of Three Houses, also remixed. Those are nice touches. It's so weird to see and compare the reactions to this game and the release of Fire Emblem Heroes. Yes, Heroes is a gacha, and it has new characters coming out like twice a month, but it has always been Nintendo's biggest mobile hit and is still going 8.5 years later. However, the difference is the fact that they leaned on legacy characters and made them the whole point of the game drove so much more hype for that one, especially when it launched with the Choose Your Legends campaign. That is the popularity contest that is still held yearly. The fans themselves were part of this game in a way. Here in comparison, like sure, there's no gacha element, but there are still microtransactions. You can unlock Lyn and Dimitri faster in the battle pass by paying, or you can play normally and unlock them that way. Outside of battle, the main gameplay factor is clearing both story modes, earning money to buy equipment at the bazaar, and promoting your units so they can use higher level weapons. We are super early in the game's life right now, but I have never felt less invested jumping into a mobile title of an IP I'm familiar with. And I just can't believe how many people compare this to that other game where there's liars and traitors. We are so brain-rotted as a community that we really look at one game with social deduction and just say it's ripping it off? Fire Emblem Shadows not only adds grid-based strategy combat to the mix, it also doesn't do it well. So no, they're not alike at all, because in a social deduction game, you're, guess what, supposed to deduce socially as in speaking with your mouth to other people that also have mouths. But you can't do that here, it's all mobile and online with no voice chat, so I don't even think social is the right term to even describe this game. That aside, this is not the only game where you lie to and betray your friends. Clearly no one else out there has played Fibbage or Mario Party. If nothing else, I want to make sure that people don't go losing their minds saying that we were robbed of a better Fire Emblem game because, like, remember, they already announced Fortune's Weave at the last Nintendo Direct. I guess they couldn't pack Shadows along with it when it was already an hour long, but we do have a mainline game already set for us in 2026, so just don't start whining already. Everyone is free to express their distaste for an underwhelming game or announcement, but don't act like we aren't getting something new down in the pipeline already. I say that, and yet I will still crash out about the genealogy of the Holy War remake that's sitting in some guy's office right now, so what do I know? God, Fire Emblem fans are so annoying. There is nobody out there who hates Fire Emblem more than Fire Emblem fans. This and Persona fans, we all get fed mainline games, Muso games, spin-offs, mobile titles. No matter what we say, we're not starving at all. We're just so freaking needy. It is a constant love-hate back and forth, and we're always coming back when they show us the shiny new thing. We have a toxic relationship with an intellectual property, and we, well, some of us, are fully aware of that. And if they're not aware, I'm gonna tell them that there's more important things to be upset about. Like how the real-life Haru Urara passed away a couple of weeks ago. She may not have ever won an official race in her career, but she will always be well-loved by her fans everywhere. But what do you think? Did you give Fire Emblem Shadows a shot, or at least look at it with your eyeballs like most of us probably did? I don't see myself playing this for long, and I wouldn't be surprised if you were the same. I guess now I'm gonna go back to waiting on Fortune's Weave in the meantime. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and remember to take care of yourselves. Till we meet again.